What's going on, guys? It's Dan here, and we're back with From the Depths. So, sorry about there not being a video yesterday. I don't know why, but every once in a while Bandicam just decides it doesn't want to record. Only this time, simply restarting the program didn't fix the problem. Basically what ends up happening is I get an error message, and I need to start the timer. There we go. I get an error message, and it's like, "It cannot record. Please click here to find out more information." And I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah, I couldn't figure out what was really causing the problem yesterday. So, what I did today to get it to work, I literally just changed the output folder and it's decided to work. So I don't know why it does this to me, but whatever. So we're gonna, at this point, I think we just want to try to get a little bit more resource, because I do have a new ship to bring in, the first of the Generation 2 ships. It's very expensive. In fact, if we could build it right now, it's only like, I think, 230,000 resource, but that'd be really dumb to use all of this resource. So I would like to get to close to 300,000 before I do that, because, well, if we're going to keep pushing, we need resource to be able to repair our ships. So yeah, that's kind of the game plan, I'd like to think. So that's kind of what we're gonna do. That looks like that might be a little nasty of a volley. What is that? A green field? I don't know what a green field is. That's a pretty big ship. Luckily for us, it's already slightly damaged, so I think we might be good, you know, if we hit it. We are running in degraded mode, mostly because there's a lot of blocks in play right now. But anyway, getting onto the new ship. Remember how I said that I wanted to keep it around the same size as the Mars, so around 15,000 meters cubed. This one's over 30,000, so it's essentially double the size of the Mars. And yeah, it can kill the Mars pretty easily without taking all that much damage in return. It is an extremely powerful ship, and I really can't wait to bring it out. So hopefully we'll be able to get it in a fight towards the end of this episode. I don't know yet. It all depends on how well these fights go. Greenstay's taken quite a bit of damage. In fact, I think it's now taking even more, so hopefully it goes down here quickly, so we can collect all that tasty resource. Maybe we might even get some friendly fire involved here too. So, one thing you're going to notice about the new ship is it's roughly the same speed as our current ships, so sadly not that much faster. However, what we do get in return is essentially an extremely heavily armored return, I guess that's a word I'm looking for. But yeah, it's very, very strong. I think in most places on the ship it's 2 meters thick armor plating, but in other places it's up to 4. So I mean, like, it's insanity how strong this thing actually is. so that's AI dead. That's probably going to be AI dead here soon. So the ship is very slow, very heavily armored. It kind of keeps the similar design to what we've got going on right now, where it's sort of boxy, but in a good way, I guess. And I did build a bit of a superstructure, but I quickly realized that with how large the ship is, a superstructure was unnecessary volume that we would be essentially just giving up. I think the superstructure I built accounted for about, I'm going to say almost 20,000 resource and an extra 2,000 volume. So I made it much smaller, like significantly smaller. And the problem is that with the superstructure, two of the main gun turrets can't fully traverse, and that's part of the reason why I've always avoided building them, is because they have a tendency to block turret rotation. So then the guns get caught on things and it's just annoying, but oh well. I'll live with it if you guys kind of want me to have more traversable ships, because currently if I spawn in on the Mars, I'm confined to that one center part. This new ship, I can actually traverse the whole thing, which I think is kind of cool. So I can actually, you know, leave the commander's seat, go below deck, and go to each of the different hull compartments, but I don't know. It's kind of cool. I'm not going to really spoil too much else about the ship because, well, it's a nasty piece of work. I pitted it up against some of my original battleships, which I might feature in an episode at some point if you guys want to see the horrible designs that I built in the past. And when I say horrible, I mean like the worst possible thing ever. Like I had no idea what I was doing kind of designs. Maybe a little bit more, because I do also have the one resource boat that's back here somewhere, which has like 50,000 resource on it, so we could technically go after that too. Constellation's a pretty nasty ship. I think we fought that one before. I think that was the one episode that was like 40 something minutes long, and it was just me suffering the entire time because it was so long. By the end of the fight, I think my will to live had basically disappeared. Alright. We're gonna lower the, yeah, that's about right. That's alright. That's a good number. Actually, no, let's reorder. Let's reorder things. Okay. PT boats. I have yet to actually make a new variation to the PT boats, because, well, they're still pretty darn good as they are right now. So I don't necessarily think they're going to need to be replaced right away. Constellation's the only ship that spawned in. Was this the one that had the laser system? Maybe? Does not look like it. Maybe I was thinking of a different ship that we fought. I don't know. Ugh. That feels like it's been quite some time ago. Thinking about it now. Because that was back before I had the flu. So that was gotta be at least 3 weeks. But yeah, what do you guys think of, you know, doing, you know, a video every weekday kind of thing? I guess it's an easy way to ease back into doing this, not necessarily full time, because, well, let's face it, YouTube doesn't want anyone to do this full time anymore, I guess. That, and I would get so bored so quickly. So yeah, I do remember some of the game suggestions that I heard from the one video that I returned with. It might have been the video I returned with. So I'll start spicing up the channel a little bit, adding some other video content in here shortly. One thing I was considering, but I'm not entirely sure how much of an audience I have for that right now. But there's this game called Hearts of Iron 4 that I've been playing to death recently. I think yesterday I sunk almost 10 hours into it. It's so much fun. If you don't know what it is, it's essentially a World War II strategy game. And I think my favorite part is just all the crazy stuff that can just happen. Like, the game that I've been playing recently, I've been playing as the Germans, and invaded Poland in 1936, and then invaded Russia in 1938, I think, maybe 37, I don't know. Avoided World War II until 1941, at which point France had joined the Soviet Union, so I had to fight both them and the Soviets at the same time. England declared war on Belgium, Denmark, and Norway, I think because they were turning fascist or something, and then after that I had to basically fight the entire world. I did have quite a few allies, and so far it looks like we're winning, but yeah, I've just been sinking so much time into that game because, well, I do like my strategy games. In fact, that's when it comes to video games, strategy is pretty much my #1 favorite thing to play. I honestly can't think of something else that I'd rather sit down and sink, 10 hours of my life doing, and it's just I'm getting flashbacks to Civ 5 days. I used to sit down for entire 24-hour periods just to play that game. So yeah, possibilities, I guess. But yeah, enough about just kind of what's been going on. Let's kind of look at what's going on right now. A whole lot of slaughtering of the enemy fleet. It's actually kind of crazy how quick we're doing this. So yeah, the first ship that's going to get phased out is going to be the Mars. So it'll be replaced by the new ship, which I will not name until we build it, which will probably be after this fight. So that way we can get at least one good fight with it spawned. It's not entirely done yet. There's still some more changes I want to make to it, like adding shields and more engine power. But given the fact that it has a significant amount of armor, oh, I did also forget to add fuses to some of the shells. Probably should do that at some point. But given the fact that it's still kind of a work in progress, it is a very powerful ship, and I am very happy with the way it's turned out thus far. Oh, did we just... Yeah, we just essentially annihilated that ship in one particle cannon shot. Oh wow. 3%. That was good. Too damaged, maybe slightly. I don't think there's a whole lot left to consider damaged. I think it's literally just debris already. It's just some wood and an air pump and a propeller. That's all that's left.
Awaiting the order.
$273,000. Yeah, I think we can do that. How much do we got here? 32,000. Okay, I'm gonna pause the recording. I'll be back after it's built. How about that? So I'll see you guys in a second. And we're back. So this is the Cygnus, named after a binary star system where one of the stars is believed not to be a star but a black hole. So I figured for this next set of ships, we're going to name them after celestial bodies, much larger than, like, where is it? The Phobos. Yeah, the Phobos is named after, I think, one of Mars's moons. We're going big, like stars and other much larger things like galaxies, maybe. I don't think the Cygnus is going to remain a flagship. I'm kind of going to save that for, I'm going to call them Galaxy class ships. So this is a solar class ship. We're talking much larger, much more powerful ships. But currently we're going to just spawn in the Cygnus, and it's going to verse whatever spawns in over here. And it's not going to be very pretty. I'm going to tell you that much. So let's go ahead and give this a shot. So this is the Cygnus. I'm gonna go ahead and pause this real quick. What did we get spawning in over here? An ironclad and a Telemachus. Yeah, those things are gonna be dead real quick. Yeah. So essentially, well, this is what it is. The Cygnus. We have 3 dual. I think 17. We have 3 dual cannon turrets that have I think 17,000 millimeter. Not 17,000. 1,700. So 170 millimeter high explosive EMP shells. So these things explode and they shoot EMP into the things that they detonate on. They don't have fuses set on them yet, and I just realized there's also a little bit of a weak point because I didn't fully close these back up. I might have to do that off camera. So essentially these things are very good at doing a lot of damage to internal components and just frying stuff. These 2 cannons are the same caliber, but they've got 3 barrels, and they fire, I can't remember what it is. I think there's definitely shrapnel in them. That's all I remember about those. So very, very heavily armored. I'll probably do a tour of the ship if I ever do like a ship episode where I show you guys my old vessels and any of the new ones that I build. And then we've got some missiles that use the same ones I was talking about a while back, where they're just mostly EMP and they just annihilate everything they hit. So yeah, very, very strong. This is the superstructure that I built. It's essentially just a little command room. It was a lot bigger. It was basically up to here, and it had all this super cool armor plating thing that I did on it, but again, it was too large and kind of useless, because again, in this game you don't really need to be able to see everything. So I kind of went with a more ironclad style superstructure thing, citadel style thing, where it's a very small command point that's kind of very close to the hull and reasonably well armored. I might doctor it up a little bit, add some sloping to the actual thing itself, but this is what I've got so far, and let's go ahead and let it destroy some stuff. So yeah. Oh, it's armor piercing. Okay. Yeah. What's that at? 90% in one volley. And most of the shots actually missed, so the second volley is probably going to be a lot... Oh. Oh, nope, it actually hit. It did hit. Some of them hit, at least. So I've still got some tinkering left to do. I want to do some different things with the AI and make it target things a little bit better, but for the most part, it does what I want it to do very well if it hits, which is the difficult part. As you can see, also, I was about to point at the screen, but its speed isn't very high, especially when it fires. But that's something I can work on in the future and just add more propellers and stuff just to make it faster. But for the time being, it certainly does what I want it to do, and I'm not disappointed in the slightest. Okay, let's kill the Telemachus. I want to see what happens whenever these guns fire on it. Or not. I guess the particle cannon did that for us. Oh, it's still alive. Well, that means the volley's coming. Yeah. It's, that's a lot of fun, these guns. These guns are a lot of fun to work with. Again, this is the main reason why I don't really do superstructures, is because these guns get stuck on those. If it weren't for that, these turrets could traverse the whole way around. But other than that, I mean, it does. Oh wow, that's never happened before in my testing. So, okay. But it looks like it just hit the top of the turret and didn't actually destroy anything on the inside, which is fine by me. We've got another 4 guns to fire back. So we've now learned today, turret cap might need a little bit more attention, or just add some shields. Oh, we don't want to run into the Winter's Day when that spawns in. But then again, we'll probably annihilate it by ramming it, so I don't know.
Moving now. Moving now. Moving now. Moving now.
Alright, how long do you think it's going to last? Oh, it hit the turret, but the turret is still going. Because it's a pretty well designed turret, because it's mostly armor, and there's almost nothing inside the turret cap of note that is explosive. In fact, I don't think there's anything in the turret cap that's explosive. And I also realized we're driving right in front of the particle cannon, so the armor on this thing isn't going to matter whenever it's shooting high velocity particles straight into it. So hopefully we clear that soon, because I don't want to lose turrets to that, because these turrets are kind of expensive. Are the repair bots, they doing? No, they're not doing anything. Why would they do anything? Because you're supposed to. You're supposed to do stuff. Oh, we got one that's not at its thing, so maybe that one's out fixing the entire boat. I'm gonna say 1 volley. I think these 2 guns are gonna swing around and dead. So yeah, this is kind of what I've got so far with the Cygnus. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think the guns are gonna be able to fire, because I think that actually just killed it. No, guns are gonna fire. Now it's dead. Yep. And there's some missiles just to make sure. Don't know why you guys aren't repairing this. Are you not close enough? Could have sworn you guys would have been close enough.
Moving now.
Well, that's kind of that then. I mean, what do you guys say to make up for yesterday's episode? You know, not existing. We go ahead and we attack the Hoffenung, whatever that is. It's a village, presumably. It's actually mostly it's just a fortress. It's got a lot of things there that are going to try to hurt us, but I think we're pretty good. So, broadside the Cygnus, Oakland, Hidachi, Phobos, Outlander. It's like that. And then the Jupiter is going to be in the back because that's what the Jupiter does. Yeah, okay. We're going to put this on firing only. Actually, we're going to put it on patrol because that's essentially the same thing. And we're going to let it just sing, do all of its work for us. That should be in range for the missiles, hopefully. Nope, not in range for the missiles. So we're actually gonna turn the missiles off since they're not close enough, and I really don't feel like moving the ship closer because this thing turns about as well as you would imagine. But that volley is so good. I mean, just look at that. If it doesn't get destroyed by the high explosive damage, it gets annihilated by the EMP, and the other cannons. I'm kind of testing them. If I remember correctly, the way I designed them is that it's mostly armor piercing, and then it has shrapnel. So I guess what I was going for was it like destroys the block it hits, and if it gets through the armor, it shoots the shrapnel into the hull. So if we like punch through a ship, the shell detonates off the first block, and then with that opening, all of the shrapnel just goes inside and destroys all the internal components. But I don't know exactly how powerful that design is yet, so I might switch it over to being purely armor piercing. I don't know. We're gonna find out eventually. And then again, I do have to put fuses on the high explosive ones because those do have a tendency to bounce off of stuff and, you know, do nothing, which isn't exactly ideal, to say the least. That was a pretty impressive miss, but that's kind of what the shrapnel damage does. Is it just rips open holes and then makes smaller holes with the other shrapnel bits. And combined with the high explosive, I mean, it just does short work of any kind of light to medium armor. And then with heavier armoring, I mean, the EMP is perfectly capable of, you know, taking out important components. So yeah, I think this prototype hull I'm probably going to use for some more designs. I might make smaller sort of things. Like, this is much more of battleships or battle cruiser kind of style. I'm going to say probably more battleship because it's pretty large and has some pretty nasty guns. So I'm going to say battleship. I might build some more cruiser style, smaller, faster ships, and then I might make a new variation of the PT boat that's slightly larger. I mean, the big issue we're going to run into is the volume limit, and one of the nice things about having the smaller ships is it's kind of like we can kind of specialize our attacks more, but we can also bring more ships in. The larger we build our ships, the less of them we can have in any given fight. So I mean, it's It's like, sure, we'll have some pretty powerful things, but they won't all be able to be used at the same time, and that completely missed. That was impressive. What are you guys aiming at? Whatever that is, I would assume, because you're missing that. Oh, that volley looks like it's going to be a little bit better. I stand corrected. Maybe this one. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with the actual armor-piercing shrapnel rounds. Are you gonna actually, you know, finish this thing off or not? Because you're doing a very poor job of hitting it. Like, I know these guns aren't designed to be very accurate, but you're not that inaccurate. Come on, land some hits. There we go. That's a good one. That might be it. Yep, that was it. Again, EMP is so incredibly useful. Because it just finds all those special components and it's just gone. No, we even got the Poseidon in. So yeah, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to retire the old ships to a separate fleet that's going to be used more for territory defense, to make sure that our front lines can stay at the front line rather than having to fall back and do anything kind of defense-wise. So I'm probably going to build a secondary fleet. I'm going to use it to clear up some of these tiles here in the back and make sure we don't get flanked at all. And it looks like maybe by the next episode we might take on the fortress. That, or 2 episodes from now. Definitely by the end of the week we'll have gone up against the fortress and either won or lost. It might take 2 attempts, especially given the fact that we're in the middle of retrofitting our fleet and kind of upgrading everything. So I don't know. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any suggestions on what to do with the future ships or what to do with the Cygnus, leave in the comment section down below. If you've got any cool ship names that kind of relate to the style that I'm going for in the next generation, leave them in the comment section down below. That being said, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.